Well, hey there, friends. Good morning. It is 5:15 a.m. and I'm about to get started on my training this morning. And I hope you are doing all right. I'm doing great. As you can see, I'm back home, and we have a slightly different setup this morning because now I'm monitoring my chat over the laptop standing over there, at least for as long as it is live. There we go, and playing. So that's great, and I can see that the first 8 or 9 seconds of my stream actually didn't get streamed. So here we go again. Good morning, friends. Thanks for dropping by and saying hello. And I'm very happy to have you all here again this morning. Like I said, it's 5:15 in the morning here where I'm at, and I'm about to do some strength and conditioning training, specifically strength training this morning with the kettlebells. And as you can see, I'm back at home, so I have all of the kettlebells I want and need to do all of the things that I want to do. But you can get a lot done with just a 12 or a 16 or an 8, like I showed you in the last 2 weeks. The drive home was great. We had an amazing, fun experience, actually stopping at some ancient Roman ruins in the ancient border city of Trier, where they still have an old gate, one of the best preserved gates, an old amphitheater that used to fit 18,000 people, which was amazing, and amazingly big. You don't really realize until you're standing in the middle of it or walking underneath through the catacombs, which was great. And now it is Monday morning and back to our usual business. It is also day 249 of consecutive investments in our health and fitness. So here we are. Anyway, I'm going to be lifting slightly heavier this morning. I'm going to be doing deadlifts. I'm going to be doing rows. I'm going to be doing swings. And I'm going to add push-ups to that. So we're going to do deadlifts and rows. Deadlifts and push-ups, and then rows and swings with heavier weights. And after that, I'm going to do about 8 minutes of HIIT just to finish this off with varying complexes and with the 12 kilo. But before we do that, we're going to do a little bit of mobility and movement prep just to get started. And I hope that's all right. Like I was saying, I train for living a self-sufficient, active, adventurous life, and I hope that that is something that you're interested in, and then you can see how I prepare for that physically, but also, I think I'm a bit hungry, physically, but also through sleep, through nutrition, through minding my stress, and through a whole bunch of other things that make up life, how I actually try to live that way. I also always say we're good just the way we are. This is not about how we look. This is about how we feel and the strength and fitness we have to tackle everyday challenges. We're not trying to be elite athletes, or I'm not trying to be an elite athlete, not trying to win any high rocks or compete in any CrossFit things. And I also want to be healthy and generally able to go out and do all of the things that I want to do, like hike 10 kilometers on a mountain trail every day for 12 days, which I was very able to do on the holiday in the mountains, which offered a slightly better view than the one we have here. And finally, the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So we are going to get started this morning. And if you have any questions or any thoughts or anything you want to ask me or say, just go ahead and say hi in chat. Give me a wave, thumbs up, and we can continue this conversation from there. In any case, I hope you're well, and we're going to get started this morning. Good morning. Johnny, thanks for dropping by. I hope life's alright. And I'm sorry that we are back to the mundane view. But at least Alfred's still here, so we have the plant. And that's worth something, I guess, as well. How are you doing this morning? I hope you're doing alright. And probably a bit better for you that I'm working out 45 minutes to an hour earlier. All right. So, let's get started. Deadlifts. I'm just going to do a slight pull up here. the trusted 20 kilo. Okay. Minute. And lift with 24 kilos. In the meantime, it's also worth reflecting on life and on how empty my mind was in the past 2 weeks. Hardly spending any time on my phone, not spending a lot of time consuming and working with information, spending time walking through the mountains where it was absolutely quiet, being physically active for 3 to 5 hours every day, and being focused predominantly on family and children and having a good time. And I can tell you, that was really good for my mind. I'm going to deadlift with 32 kilos and row with 20 kilos, 5 times left, 5 times right. But how are you doing this morning? How's life? How's how are things at your end of the world? I guess at 5:30 a.m. Are things good? Are you just getting started with the day? Is it Monday for you as well? Or are you still in Sunday and getting ready for bed for the evening, whatever it is? Let me know in the chat. I'd be curious to hear from you. I'm coming up on 250 days of consecutive training, which I think is pretty cool. So, if you want to say hi and show your support, or subscribe to my channel because you're interested in what I'm doing, feel free, go ahead and do your stuff. I talk about life, I talk about my career, I talk about being a father, I talk about fitness. And those are things that generally interest you. Maybe there's a conversation we can have. And one more set of these. And then we're going to switch it up. So I guess one of the insights from the trip is to always check your food when you're eating at a restaurant. Because we have certain dietary considerations due to medical conditions. And I'd pre-checked with the hotel. We were checking that they would be able to provide for us soy milk, which they did, but the pack had been open for God knows how long and the milk was curdled. But because they warmed it up first and then I mixed it into my protein shake second, I didn't realize until I actually poured out a cup of it to just drink that I saw that it was curdled and disgusting and rancid. Krutoi Patsan, hi, good morning. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate you dropping by and saying hello. Good morning. I hope you're doing well where you are in the world, that you're having a good start of the day. So, like I was saying, wherever you are, you should be able to trust the food that you're being served, but you are just better off being very cautious and careful and checking, because could have ended up with a bad case of food poisoning there. Thankfully nothing went wrong yesterday, but we could have, and that would have not been very pleasant on the way back in the car for 6 hours. Final set deadlifts, final set of rows before we do swings and push-ups. And swings we're going to do with the 20. So here's one other thing worth considering based off my experience in the mountains for the last 2 weeks. I lost about 2 kilos of body weight. Probably about the first kilo of that is maybe a lot of water, but the second kilo definitely is some fat. So body recomposition. Is that because I walked 10 kilometers an hour, or is that because I ate less throughout the 2 weeks on a daily basis, or is it a combination of both? Despite walking every day for 10 kilometers, I was not hungry throughout the day, during the day, and at the end of the day. And I made a point of eating relatively high protein meals, meaning that the amount of protein I was trying to consume every day was anywhere between 100 and 120, 130 grams, and avoiding junk drinks and junk foods, having salads for snacks in the middle of the day, making sure we pack tomatoes, cucumbers, those kinds of things, along with a lot of bread and carbohydrates. But the main point here, I think, is that I didn't overeat despite increasing my physical output. I think I ate at maintenance, maybe a bit less, so that for me is between 2200 and 2400 calories, while keeping my protein count high. And the net result over 2 weeks of activity is a change in my physical composition, which I hope stays this way, because I feel a bit lighter and a bit better. But more important than that is that if I had gone in there expecting to walk every day and lose a lot of weight, I would have been disappointed, because I think 2 kilos over 2 weeks is a significant reduction. I would usually aim for about half a kilo per week as a healthy goal, so 2 kilos per month if I were trying to cut and lose weight for any reason, probably health reasons. So just worth considering what different levels of activities, but predominantly what managing calorie intake can do. 5 swings with a 20 kilo. And the reason those are 5 is because those need to be 5 proper and good swings. And 5 proper. 5 proper push-ups. And a minute of rest. Now, compared to 4 weeks ago, the ability to do push-ups is nice to have that back again. So I'm glad for it. And here we are. We're going to try to do 5 sets. So that was the first set. We're going to be on to the second set. And then we're going to do 8 minutes of HIIT to finish this session off. And the HIIT is going to be 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. And that's going to be 6 a.m. It's going to be the start of the day. And what a good day it's going to be. It's going to be fun to go back to the office and see all of my colleagues again. And that's the second set. We're going to move on to the third set. And we're going to take it from there. So to come back to my previous point, it's not about weight loss for me, but weight loss and the shape and size of my body changing is a side effect or a result of being active, first of all, every day for 30 minutes, doing resistance and conditioning training. But second of all, also by hiking 10 kilometers up and down through the mountains, sometimes with 15 or 22 kilos on my back for long stretches, specifically up or down the mountain. And this is an incredible change in the level of physical activity compared to my day-to-day life. And there's something to be said for trying to increase the level of activity. Every day we say, well, you need to move for 30 minutes, but I think there's a real difference between moving for 30 minutes. Let me restate that. We say we need to move for 30 minutes, but I think there's at least during the day. But I think there's a big difference between moving for 30 minutes through flat country on a paved road, for example in the Netherlands, or moving for 30 minutes up and down the mountains in Austria along winding paths where the air is slightly thinner and different and the physical strain is slightly higher. So probably, I have more to say, so probably it is better to move more throughout the day, maybe even an hour to 90 minutes, if we can manage it. Nothing super intense, but just more movement throughout the day. But anyway, that's how I look at it. You tell me how you view the challenge of getting enough movement in every day. I think there's a lot to be said for the fact that we have a lot of security, safety and convenience, but it maybe detracts or takes away a little bit from the experience of being human. There's also a big difference, I think, on Tenerife, for example. We go for walks along the shore. But I think there's a big difference between walking along the coast, which is also slightly raised and descending, elevating and descending, versus walking up, hiking up through the mountains. Both good experiences. Same, going out for walks here in a forest amongst the meadows, it's a good experience. But probably more interesting to do varying types of activities maybe throughout the year. The point is, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, or 120 minutes a day probably has a big impact. Fourth set. And we're going to do the rest of the program. And to anyone watching, I hope you're having a good start of the day and that you had a good sleep, or that if you're midway through the day, that you're having a good rest of the day, morning, afternoon, and that it will be a peaceful, quiet, relaxing, enjoyable day where you get to do things that you like, that you get to choose what you get to do. You get to spend time with people you care about, the community or group that you belong to, that you feel a part of, and that you're doing something that you enjoy, that you have a pursuit that you feel you're mastering or good at. It gives you a sense of competence and ability. So those are all important things to have every day in our life. And the final swings, the final push-ups. Maybe we can do that 20 times next time. Okay, 1 minute of rest. Now we're going to have to do some conditioning. And because it's been such a long time, we're going to finish off with the Klika, just for fun. And full timer, set timers, so again, 20 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest. I'm going to do that 8 times, which is 4 minutes. Take a minute of rest. And then we're going to continue. Look. 1 minute. Done. Countdown timer is off. Now we're going to start off very simply 20 seconds of hand-to-hand swings. You can just do stepping lunges instead, if that works better for you. But we need to involve the legs. Second set, swing clean. Over. One minute of rest starts now. We're going to do complexes. Switching side. Swing. 30 seconds of rest to go. I'm going to move to complex, which is going to be swing, clean, squat, press, switch sides. Try to do at least 2 of those in 20 seconds. Or exchanging that with a normal flow, 2-handed flow. There's 1 minute. Two minutes. Now, back to the one-sided flow. Final push, stay with the one-sided. Swing, clean, squat, press. Swing, clean, squat, press. And the last time on the other side. And that was it. 8 minutes. Just helped my heart calm down a little bit. A 42-minute workout, friend. And what a morning it's been. Thank you for dropping by and joining me on this journey today. I'm going to finish up with just some simple inside circles, outside circles, and let's see if I can still do the mill after 2 weeks, 5 times on each side. And then at 6 a.m. we're going to move on with the day. I hope this was fun and good, entertaining, insightful. Okay, now on to the mill. That still needs quite a bit of work, but hey. Left one's a bit sloppy, but we'll get there eventually. All right, that was a nice way to calm down. Take a moment to reflect and relax. Thanks for dropping by, friend. Thanks for joining me. Like I say, I train for living an active, self-sufficient, adventurous life. If you're interested in my health, fitness, kettlebell training, fatherhood, career, life in general, there are a lot of things that I talk about, want to talk about, will talk about. Go ahead, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for dropping by here every day. Remember, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So I'll see you tomorrow.